So much stuff. So much. Come off, come off. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. I'm trying to get this set up here. Whew. All right. Well, this isn't my normal time, but I was cleaning my desk and I thought, well, I used to do lives maybe once a week, usually over lunch and learn, and I'd go through all of my paperwork with everyone. But now they're just kind of, whenever I have so much paperwork, it's gonna fall over and harm me. Hello, Joyce. Hello. So I thought I would just kind of go through what I have here as I kind of get myself sorted out. There's a lot. There's a lot. So if you have a fear of paperwork, this may not be the best life for you to participate in. So hello, welcome in. Yeah, welcome in, everybody. Very low key tonight. Very, very low key. It's been such a busy, crazy week. I thought, yeah, let's get ourselves sorted out. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Frank Betts. How you doing? I hope everybody is making it through. One foot in front of the other. And thankful to have 2 feet. That works, right? All right, so again, I'm just going through. I'm doing all right, Joyce. I'm doing all right. So I'm just going through the paperwork here that's on my desk. I have just huge piles of paperwork. It's very, it's very unbecoming, I think. But right. We all have our things. But I've got a whole bunch of stuff, and I thought I would just kind of chit chat and give you some citations if you find anything interesting that you want to kind of look up and pursue further. Here we go. Trying to move everything over. All right, there we go. Here's one stack. Okay, and then we'll do one more stack. All right, one more stack. Yikes. Hopefully, I'll get this. I've got too much paper. All right, there's this, and then. All right, we'll just do a little bit tonight. Not too much. Oh, thanks, Erin. Hello. I hope you're having a lovely Saturday today. So welcome in. So tonight, everyone, I am just going to be going through the documents that I happen to have here on my desk. And just kind of, if nothing else, just kind of, noting that I have these different things. Mel, oh, hello. Welcome. Oh, thanks for the gifts, Greg. Oh, I appreciate that so much. My printers now are fully locked and loaded. So we're good to go. I'm so excited about that. Yes. Hello, Jelly Kelly. Yeah, so I have, all right, let's jump in. I have a lot of things that I just want to share on my lives, but sometimes the breaking news, you got to cover that first. But one thing I wanted to go through at some point in time, 5% of my voice. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh, I know, right? So the first thing, everyone, is a Magna Carta. This was 1214, if I remember correctly. 1214, and it was an agreement, right, between the king and the people that the king felt were part of his, world or whatever. So, but what I really like to do with the Magna Carta, and again, I'm just kind of cleaning up tonight. I'm not really, we're not going full on college lecture tonight because it's Saturday. One of the things, though, that I always like to remember about Magna Carta is that this is actually where the concept of due process comes from. So you might say, what do we need? Something that's from like 1215 or 1214. What do we need that for? Well, it's because due process. There we go. Yikes. Because the intent behind the due process that we have now in two amendments came from this, right? Right. So that's cool. We got to have that. So, right. So if you are interested in the Magna Carta, you can grab one if you want. I need to put this in my learning stack. So I'm just kind of organizing my stuff and talking about the stuff on my desk I haven't been able to get to in forever. I just want to make sure I can get my stuff put together for this next week. I know it's only Saturday, but we'll do it. We'll do it. Okay, so we've got the Magna Carta here. There's another thing too I'd printed out that I eventually do want to do over live, and it's so helpful. So if you are like, what the H is posse comitatus, because we're using that word like 5 times a day now, right? He dodged it. John, genius, yet also terrible. All right. Back to posse comitatus. So we've had a lot of questions about martial law, right? And a lot of questions about what are the people that in the military doing in the cities, also known as the National Guard. Hello, Kaya. Hello, Carol. Willie B. Hello. We're doing a bit of a late one tonight, but that's okay. A nightmare for the military. Well, right, exactly. So I did print this out. If anyone's interested in doing some research on this topic, I will be going through this on a live. All of this paperwork includes what I'd like to do on the lives for the next few weeks, but I just ran out of time right now. So I'm just going through and refreshing my memory. Hello, June Marie. So I don't forget. So if you are interested in pulling this, this is huge. This is enormous. I love to work and pull stuff from the Congressional Research Service. They're nonpartisan, smart attorney peoples. Love reading their reports, but their reports are usually just a few pages long. This is the longest one that I have seen. Saturday Night Live, yes. Exactly. Hello, Kimber. Hello. Welcome in. We're just hanging out tonight, everybody. We're just, catching our breath and clearing off our desk such that it is. I'm not sure, but that doesn't seem sturdy. If somehow the paperwork falls on me and I'm unable to get up, I just appreciate having people out there know. So, yes. All right, next up, we've got November 17th. So this is the James Comey indictment. Man, this case is a mess. So this is actually the opinion. Oh my gosh, this is such a mess, everybody. We have grand jury issues going on big time, right? So oh my gosh, real quick. So Mr. Comey was charged with 3 counts. They took it in front of a grand jury, and the grand jury's like, blah, 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 blah. And then somehow it got relayed back to the government that they didn't want to go for the first one, just the second and third ones they wanted to go to. All right, so we had 1, 2, 3 counts. The grand jury said, man, we don't want number 1. So 2 and 3 are okay. So for some reason, instead of going through it that way, they decided to go and type up another indictment, because that's not what you do at all, ever. You don't ever do that. That's just, nope, you don't want to do that. So we've got 1 indictment here with 3 counts, and them saying that number 1 doesn't count. And then we have another one. We have a second one that they wrote that just has the second and third count. But this was just signed by the foreman, or the, what's another word for the, let me think. Okay, we've got grand jury, and then, the foreperson that's in charge of it. We'll just call him the foreperson. So the foreperson just signed it. That's not how indictments work. Thank you very much, my girly girl. The clerk, right. The clerk is the government agent, but the person, lead juror, yeah, foreperson, sure. but there's a specific word I'm thinking of in my mind that I can't seem to say out loud. So hold on. I'm thinking, okay. Okay, Jerry, have you chosen your, oh my gosh. I don't know, everybody. I've forgotten. Leisure. I think it's got a bit more of a punch to it, like a certain kind of, level of authority. Maybe it is for a person. Oh, yes, absolutely. Hey, April. Oh, absolutely. Man, I can't believe I just forgot that. Was the foreperson in on the gig? No, I don't believe so. DOJ saying the full jury saw the indictment. They saw yes. First of all, yes, you're correct. The grand jury saw the first one with the 1, 2, 3. Foreperson? Okay, well, let's do that. Let's do foreperson. Maybe I'm just struggling because I'm, whatever. So the foreperson, that's the one that showed. All right, so we have basically here 2 indictments. One, the entire grand jury saw, then somehow got it back to the government. The government, just cut out number 1 and then put 2 and 3 in. And then the foreperson just signed it. That was it. Deputy foreperson. No, that's too many. Yes, the Halligan situation is, yes, quite wild. I mean, it's going to be an amazing movie, I think, and a wonderful test question for law schools to use for decades to come. So let's say you're just told you're going to need to do a major criminal trial. What's the first thing you want to do? It's going to be very interesting. All right, anyway, so we've got 2 indictments. And, things are getting a little out of hand. So Comey has moved here to dismiss. And actually, I think I've got his. No, that's the Chicago Headline Club. I'm a mess in here, everybody. But he has filed, I think, maybe 3 motions to dismiss. And he's included the vindictive, we're just going to call that Vin. The vindictive prosecution or abuse of prosecutorial authority. So those are a couple of the big ones that you can really get into trouble with if you're a prosecutor. Because, prosecutors have immunity to some degree. They have some qualified immunity if they're doing their job, or else they get sued all the time, right? All right. Hello, Wakandan Songbird. Oh, beautiful name. Jury saw the second. Yes, Fee, exactly. I'm going to call you Fee because it's French, but if it's Fi, I apologize. I can't believe they just hang. Well, right. Yeah. No. The thing about attorneys is that a lot of what we do, we regulate ourselves on. So when she got this case, first she should have just said, no, I'm not competent to do it. And then when she got more, it was like, no, you're still not competent to do. I think there's some kind of claim that Mr. Orange forced her to take this case. That's been the word on the street. Absolutely no facts or evidence to back that up. But that's one of the theories. So, right. But here for Comey, we have 2 here indictments. Now, this opinion came out on the 17th, and I think I've actually went through this on a live. Let me double check. I'm going to write a list here. I need to double check if I've put that one up. So let me just write myself a note. Call me over on the tube ? On tube. Hello, Betharoni. Hello. I feel bad for people who are, forced into a situation, but I feel like I would feel worse for her, or have some kind of empathy if she had not been talking to the judge the way she's been talking to the judge. And I've said that before. We can't go in and listen to these hearings, so we have to rely on other people who are actually in DC that can go to or in Virginia and can go to this stuff. I can't. So based off of what I've been seeing and hearing and researching, she's been kind of a jerk to the judge. Maybe she's not intending to be a jerk. Maybe that's just her personality and she doesn't know you're not supposed to do that to a judge. But I don't know. If she keeps pushing it, she might get, knocked down verbally, because our judges try to give you a lot of chances, but then after that, they're like, look, I gotta go. I got stuff to do. Here you go. Can work for the big orange. After with the, oh my gosh, I know. Oh my gosh, John, I know. And everyone had warnings, right? This isn't a tornado situation where, oh my gosh, so many people perished because they didn't know a tornado was coming. No, we have a fully functional weather service, and it gave everybody plenty of notice that the tornado was coming. So if you didn't get to your tornado shelter, I don't have much sympathy for you. That's the stance I'm taking. All right, it's called the tornado stance. Censored, perhaps. Well, I don't know. I mean, the question really is like, is it going to make a difference? What's actually going to make a difference? Oh, just 1 second, everybody. All right, here we go. I had to pantomime. Pantomiming. All right, we have succeeded. Yes, we've succeeded. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. One of my offsprings need a little help here. A year and a half of notice. Right. Plus the previous administration. Well, exactly. So, we got to take that into account, right? Let's see. Yeah, right. So then the next one I've got here, that's in the queue. This may be my next live. Again, I'm just going to good night. Get some good rest if you possibly can. I would really be happy if you could do that. She gets disbarred. Can Trump legally interfere to stop that? No, because he can only do stuff within his how do I put this? If I start using buckets, I'm gonna go crazy because I can't do it. I can't use the buckets. In his job description, he can't do anything outside of his own job description. How's that? And so we've got Virginia is a court that she's in, so that's one place. And then we have, I believe, Florida, which is where she's licensed out of. So actually, we could have two potential places where it could be filed. Virginia or Florida. So definitely able to, though. Signed by a 4-person. Yes. And it was. But that's still not the original indictment. There's just a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of moving parts here. So this is the DC case here. And let me just, I'm still annotating, but let me just read the first paragraph here to remind everybody about what's going on in DC, because I think it's really important. Right, in his circle of approval. That's a bit too posh for us here. All right. Here we go. Since August 11th, over 2,000 members of the National Guard have been deployed to the District of Columbia. While in the district, these units have provided support to local and federal law enforcement agencies. Guard units have patrolled on the National Mall, in Metro Transit stations, and across D.C. neighborhoods. The Guard's operations in D.C. have been coordinated by the Joint Task Force District of Columbia, JTF DC, which oversees units from DC's own National Guard and from other states, including South Carolina, West Virginia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, Ohio, Georgia, Alabama, and South Dakota. At this point, the National Guard units are expected to remain in the district through February 28th of next year. Yikes. The District of Columbia plaintiff filed this suit alleging that the National Guard deployment violated the Administrative Procedure Act, or the APA. So DC is suing, right, the District of Columbia Home Rule Act, which is really, all right. I'm going to take a moment here with the Home Rule Act and just say, your acts don't have to be that long, people, all right? You could kind of cut some of the, fat off on the outside, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a really big act. Moving on, the Emergency Management Assistance Compact here, the Posse Comitatus Act, and the Constitution. So got to wrap it up. Huge festival in DC today. Oh, I heard there was some pretty significant protesting going on. It is the state Supreme Court who admitted him and who do sanctions. Oh, interesting. Okay. Something like $2 million per day for National Guard deployment to be. Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that one bit. All right, so the big pieces that we're looking at here, right? So we've got the Constitution, the complaint. So, the lawsuit named 3 categories of defendants: President Donald J. Trump, 2, the United States Department of the Defense. I have to be careful. I've gotten dinged on that before, but Secretary of Defense Peter B. Hegseth. The United States Army, no, not the Army, and Secretary of the Army, Daniel Driscoll, collectively, this group, which I'm not going to say, defendants, and 3, the Department of Justice, Attorney General Pamela J. Bondi, the U.S., hello, Kristen, welcome in, we're just hanging out tonight, Marshal Service, and Director of the Marshal Service, Gadiasis, Seralta, oh, that's an interesting name. Plaintiff then moved for a preliminary injunction and to state agency action seeking to enjoin or stay the deployment of the National Guard in the district for the duration of this litigation. Defendants oppose the motion and have also moved to dismiss plaintiff's suit. Right, so we've got our back and forth going. Oh, Tang, I do love my Tang. I do, for sure. All right, so this just came out, and I've not done a full live on it. So again, I'm just kind of going through things. Do we want a full live where I take you through this? Thanks, Aaron. Where I take you through the entire opinion here. Again, this is DC versus the executive branch here. And I've been annotating it and putting it together, but I just wasn't sure if people were still interested in it. So sometimes it's hard to tell because everything moves so fast. So let me know. Let me make sure that I filed it correctly too. Over here, go here. Okay, I think so. Okay. All right. Well, I think we might. Okay. All right. We'll do that then. I'm absolutely happy to do any of these. I'm just kind of, trying to get an idea or a general idea of what people are still interested in. Okay, Beth Roney. All right. Thank you very much. This isn't a new lawsuit. This was filed a couple weeks ago by DC. They're asking for a preliminary injunction. So this is the situation where the court came in and said, the National Guard hanging out in DC need to go. So it's not new. I'm clearing off my desk tonight, so you're gonna see some old stuff in here too. All right, next I've got a complaint for declaratory and injunctive relief. This is the case number here for anyone who is interested. Do I have a gavel? I'm not sure if I have a gavel. Just not sure. And I'm not sure I want to look it up online either. I've gotten burned before. I like to know. Oh, absolutely. Of course. And there's a lot. I mean, that's where a lot of these cases are being brought, for sure. So this is Massapequa. Sorry. Oh, grave. All right. A gavel? Right. Okay. Do I have a gavel? I don't. Okay, so that makes sense. I don't. I just have my voice. That tends to seem to be enough. Can make a gavel sound, but all right. So this, I'm saying the name wrong, but this school district sued here, or this Board of Education and such was getting sued because we've got Commissioner of Education here, Commissioner of New York State Division on Human Rights, Letitia James is included as the AG, and then we've got John Doe, and on behalf of minor Janie Doe. So there's a lot of people. Massapequa. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, Massapequa. That's fun to say. I'm gonna write that down. Hold on. Massapequa. Pequot or Pequot. Pequot or Pequot? Well, thank you very much. That's fun. I'll be saying that word a lot now. What happened here? Let me go ahead and I'll just read you the first couple paragraphs. Just the first couple so you have some idea of what this is about. This is one of my to-do cases to put together and share. So I'll just read, again, just the first couple paragraphs here. Plaintiffs are the governing bodies responsible for setting policies for public school students in the district. They bring this action for declaratory and injunctive relief because they are under threat of enforcement actions by either the federal government or the state government, regardless of how they implement policies with respect to separation of males and females in intimate spaces, including bathrooms and locker rooms, and because defendant Commissioner Rosa has imposed an order requiring plaintiffs to permit biological males to enter intimate spaces with biological females. Yep. Since the summer, the United States Department of Education, a cabinet agency within the executive branch of the United States government, engaged in numerous enforcement actions against school districts throughout the country, including in New York, for permitting students to use intimate spaces in accordance with their gender identity. All right. The Department of Education grounded its actions in the text of Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. It's from the United States Department of Justice. The Department of Education's enforcement actions are either pending or have resolved in penalties, including the withholding of federal funding. To date, it is the plaintiff's understanding that every concluded enforcement action done by the Department of Education has resulted in the imposition of penalties. All right, so I know what I think they're coming out and saying is we need to make sure we follow the rule, because if the feds come, they're gonna take the Fed money away. That's my first thought, but let's hit this last paragraph. The district must comply with Title IX as it accepts federal funding. After commencement of the school year on September 2nd of 2025 and learning of federal enforcement actions against other school districts, plaintiffs passed two resolutions. One, providing students access to restrooms and locker rooms that correspond to the students' SEX as defined in Title IX, the September 9 resolution, and two, directing the superintendent of schools of the district to carry out the September 9th resolution by the September 18 resolution and collectively with the September 9 resolution or policies here. Right. I know, Navy vet. Oh my gosh, the same, man, the same. I'm like, the only thing, yes, I'll keep my thoughts to myself, but yes. The resolutions establish a facially neutral policy requiring all students to use school restrooms and locker rooms corresponding to their biological SEX, while also providing all students access to gender-neutral facilities. The policy complies with federal law, including Title IX, recent federal court decisions interpreting SEX to mean biological here, and we're citing multiple cases. Let's see if any of these look familiar. So we've got Department of Education v. Louisiana, 2024. Cardona, no, I don't know that one. Kansas, no, don't know that one either. An executive order 14168, which, all the executive orders are great. So that's just kind of a broad overview here of this particular case. I want to definitely go through it. That's why it's in my stack and see how it's progressing. If you are interested in this one, then here is the case number here. You can kind of screenshot the title. Yes, it really does. It absolutely does. All right, there we go. Now that one's I'm being so productive right now, everybody. I'm so proud of myself. All right, I think it's good to give yourself positive affirmations also. All right, next in my stack of paperworks. So again, tonight, everyone, I'm just kind of going through all of my paperwork. So what do I have here? So let's see. This is the special purpose grand jury out of Georgia. What? This is the RICO, Georgia 19 defendants named situation. All right. There were 2 grand juries brought in for Georgia for the RICO situation because they wanted to cover all of their bases. So this grand jury was, spoken to, and they decided, hello, Melissa, hello, welcome, Carrie, welcome. Anyway, so this was their final decision here, what they decided to do. And the reason I had printed this out, and again, this will just be a very short explanation as I put it in my stack of places to go and take care of business. So let me read you here the first paragraph to give you, again, some idea of where we're coming from here. So the special purpose grand jury, herein referred to the grand jury, was impaneled pursuant to an order dated January 24th of 2022 by this fella, Chief Judge of the Superior Court of Fulton County, Atlanta Judicial Circuit. The grand jury consists of 26 Fulton County residents, 3 of whom were alternates. On any day testimony was received or deliberations were had, the number of jurors present ranged between 16 and 24 as availability allowed, period, pursuant to statute. If we had not needed quorum of 16 jurors present, we could do business with that. Hello, hi, Dolphin. Welcome. Right. All right. Your name is Lessel? Isel? Oh my goodness. See, I've got something in my brain that doesn't work right with names. I think I've told everybody this, what my labor law professor said. If you can't remember anybody's names, it's because you're too selfish. And at the time I was like, that sucks. Oh, Leslie. Oh my goodness. That's a great name. I can't believe it. Anyway, I didn't give him a hard time, but I was like, excuse me, sir. Hello, Raph or Rave. Raph is what I say in my brain. You teach us the hard stuff. We'll handle the names. Deal. All right. So we've got this grand jury coming in. You have to remember, right? I did do a live on the Georgia RICO case just a couple days ago because it's coming back. It's making a comeback. But if we remember, this all had to do with a phone call that was made by the Orange to the governor. Was it the governor? I think it was the governor, to find more votes. I mean, it was really jacked up. And then Giuliani was out there in the Georgia political world trying to force them to ask again for whatever's. So he was charged. Orange was charged along with 18 other people, and there were 42 counts. Because my brain's full of useless knowledge already. I know, I've only got so much room in my brain. Anyway, so we're talking about the RICO case involving the Orange. So I wanted to show you here, this is how they go through, because we've had some questions about, well, what exactly do grand juries do, and what kind of follow-up is needed, what kind of protocol do we have procedurally. So this is helpful for that too. Hopefully everyone can see it okay. Is this case still going forward? The Georgia case? If you're talking about the Georgia case, ditto, yes. You have to use the name 3 times coming to memory. Yeah, people say that, but that doesn't work for me for some reason. I'll try it again later. Here we are. This is what we've got. This is the official code of Georgia. So this is state code sections that have been pulled out. And then the number of votes because of the grand jury. The one thing, well, there's lots of things in here. So we're talking about that RICO. We're talking about the Coffee County in Georgia where the computer people came in and just decided to go ahead and go through computers because what's-her-face said you could. Hold on. Here we go. This is the one. This is the case, everybody, all right? This is the case we're talking about. Yes, Georgia is still going forward at this point. I'm not sure how far it's going to go, but the new prosecutor's just been put into place. All right, so this is the case, everyone. I think we need to remember. So these, and I'll just break it down for you. So this guy and this gal, and then this minister fellow over here, those three were hassling the Miss Ruby and her that situation. We had one particular like poll watcher who was so defamed and was so harmed by Giuliani that she like couldn't show her face in public. Right? Do we remember? Remember that? Oh, it's the filter. Oh, the eyebrows moving. Oh, creepy. Yes. Yeah, so I think there's a filter on. Anyway, so they were involved in that. And then we've got Clark is involved in the false or fake electors. And then Cheese Bros involved in that. This fella here just kind of flew people around, apparently. And then Meadows, gosh, he's a big whiner. He was like the Secretary of State, I think. So he was like the number one. And he tried to get his case, the RICO case, transferred to federal court. And they're like, no, dude, you can't do that. This one's a local in Georgia. She has the most counts against her. Miss Powell here is an attorney. She has pled out so that the RICO is not on her record. Lawyer. Ellis here, she has also pled out again, and she and Giuliani would go in and say a bunch of, I'm going to say bologna sandwiches. All right, I got to watch my language. So, bologna sandwiches, so that's why they were involved. This Smith fella was an alternative elector, I believe, but he's also an attorney. So he was included in all of the stuff going on there. And then we've got this guy. He was one of the fake electors too. Eastman, who's like, I don't know. This fella's like not a good person. He's like the expert on constitutional law because he's a professor. And I think, I don't know, I guess they were just friends or something or whatever. But he's in this because of all the information he keeps saying, like the vice president can just go choose who wins the election, stuff like that. That was all on him. His licenses have been removed. This fella's a local attorney. I don't know what he did. And then Miss Hampton, also together with Miss Latham, made it so that some computer ninjas could come in and take information out of computers. All right, there you go. Now that we've had that and enjoyed the eyeliner, this is the part that I think is interesting. There were several names given to the grand jury, and the 19 that were on the indictment were the ones that Miss Willis is like, this is it. These are the ones we're going to go for. Because there were a lot more. There were a heck of a lot more. And that's the one thing I think is important to remember. So we've got, with respect to the gathering of Republican electors at the Georgia State Capitol on December 14th, 2020, and the representations made by, as well as documents submitted by that body, the grand jury recommends that the district attorney seek indictments of the following persons. So not all of these people were indicted. I think that's important. And now let's see, Cleta Mitchell was one of the biggest ones, and she was not indicted. She was not included. Cheeley, yes. Smith, yes. Kurt Hilbert, I don't know who that is either, but not included. Alex Kaufman, John Eastman, yeah, he was. Cheese Bro, Schaefer, also yes. Joseph Brannon, I'm not sure who that is, but it was recommended. Let's just put a circle around the ones that didn't get indicted. Consiglio, I've seen that name before. She may have been indicted actually in another state right now, but that's, I don't know. Then Carolyn Fisher and Burt Jones, Gloria Godwin, Mark Hennessy, not indicted on this case. Then Mark Amick, John Downey here, Latham, she's been there, Brad Carver, Sean Still, I think he's still in here, and CB Yadav. Yadav. I can't get my V in the right place. Sorry. Right, flipped his witnesses, exactly right. And that's probably what they did. So that just kind of gives you a little flavor of that, of how many names. Let me take a minute here and just look. I'm not going to read through all these people, but let's just look. So Cleta Mitchell was a huge player behind the scenes in all of this shenanigans. Lynn Wood is an attorney that was it wasn't sanctioned. He was, I'm trying to think of the word. No, I can't remember, but he was called out in Colorado. Right, right. No, I didn't say you. No, that's a legitimate question. The numbers for each of these is they're counting the votes, right? So Y is for yay, N is for nay, and then 0 is for I don't know, somebody that doesn't count anymore. So they're just putting in how many said yes, no, and then like other. Disbarred, no. A reprimand, yes. Thank you so much. That was the word I was looking for. So it's a public reprimand, essentially. There were no law licenses pulled, but I think it was Colorado because that's her home state. That's Jenna Ellis's home state. Anyway, the point is, a lot of these people have been pulled in on a lot of the other cases that were involved. Abstained, thank you, James. Thank you. Right, right. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. Okay, so there we go. So here's a few more names here. We've got what's this? Well, I'll be gosh darned. What's that? Who's this fella? Anybody know this fella? Well, he was recommended by the grand jury to also be indicted. He's supposed to be indicted also. Right? But no, alas, he was not. So we've got Powell. Miss Powell, she was charged. Chile. Oh, there's a Michael Flynn right here. So we've got Michael Flynn in here. Now, I don't know who the Ligon is, but I've seen him in a couple of other cases. Purdue, I don't know. Loeffler, Kathleen. Yeah, she was in there. Hampton Hall. Ooh, Boris. Okay, a lot of people forget about Boris. But he was huge. He was a huge actor in the shenanigans that occurred. So that's his name's on this list, but he has actually been pulled into court. User, do I not have a job at the office and not on TikTok? What kind of question's that? Do you want to know who I am and my personal information so you can come and hurt me and my family? Is that what you're asking? Because I don't answer those kinds of personal questions. Next, Jeff Clark, Kurt Hilbert, Stephen Lee, we don't know who that is, Travion Cuddy, Harrison Floyd, Alex Kaufman. All right, Jeffrey here, Vicky. Now I'm going to just kind of skim through because I thought we had one more here. Carolyn Fisher Jones, right here. I guess we didn't. I was looking for that wrestler dude, but maybe I was thinking of a different case. Was I thinking of a different case? Anyway, this goes on and on. This is the special Jan. This is very, very special. Seriously, they don't, right. So I'm not going to read through all of this. I will in a different day, but I'm hunting here. I'm on a hunting adventure trying to find one more set of names. Let me see, because I've done a lot of these. Hello, sustaining a smile. Yes. Nope, it's not here. I thought that wrestler dude was involved, but I think he was just going after Fawny. Now that I think about it. Right, he had written the letters to Fawny saying basically, you're not competent, you shouldn't be here. Your whole team's incompetent, they shouldn't be here. And if you don't stop this, we're going to withhold funding from your children's program. So there was a program in the area that basically helps kids come through and see what the whole process was and try to help them get a support structure put into place. So basically he's like, look, if you don't stop it, then we're going to pull the money from the children again. And she is like, that's stupid. So that was Jim Jordan. Anytime I see or think of Jim Jordan, I don't even know why, but he's like in a wrestling singlet in my mind. He will never be able to get out of it. So that's that. All right, now I did go through the full Georgia situation, and we'll kind of keep that going as time goes on here. All right, now this is, again, I'm just going through my paperwork here. to see what we've got. Oh, this is, I think, this is the ethics violation here. So I think that was, I have done that also on another live. I know, right. So let's see. This was military personnel seek legal advice on whether Trump ordered missions are lawful. This was put together November 13th, right? Now we know there was that the group of people in Congress that were saying like, hey, let's help our peeps out and let them know you don't have to abide by an illegal order. In fact, you really shouldn't, because then you're going to get charged. And those questions were just pouring in so much. Again, this was like a week before they even made their whatevers. So just to kind of keep that in mind here as we go through this. So let's just read this first part here to give you, again, a little bit of the flavor. I'm trying to keep my... All right, that's not going to work. Here we go. 1 second here. There we go. Only the highest of qualities here, everybody. The highest of qualities for the life. You got it, John. You got it. All right, here we are. So this was a full transcript here of a discussion with Amna Nawaz. This is just a peek. I'm going to be careful with my language. Military service personnel have been seeking outside legal advice about some of the missions the Orange administration has assigned them. The U.S. strikes against alleged DRUG trafficking boats and deployments to American cities have sparked a firestorm of debate over their legality, and some service members are turning to nonprofit organizations for help. In grainy footage, hello, Meme NATO, hello. In grainy footage from the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean, 20 times since September, the Pentagon has shown the same thing: a flash of light and a boat allegedly carrying bad stuff into the U.S. incinerated by U.S. military strike. In all, dozens of people unalived on board the vessels. But that is the extent of what the Orange administration has disclosed publicly. No confirmation of any substances on board or the identities of the people unalived. Orange has justified the lethal strikes and the fog of war that's clouded them. What? All right. Next line here. We have Mr. Orange. Oh, all right. Prepare yourselves, everybody. We're going in. This is, yikes. His response: well, they unalived 300,000 people last year. The DRUGSs. These, what am I going to call this, everybody? I got to get a different name out here. I'm going to go crazy. We'll call them rugs. All right. They unalived 300,000 people last year. Rugs. These rugs coming in. They unalived 300,000 Americans last year. And that gives you legal authority. Nope. We know the boats. Nope. We know everything else. Not true. We're allowed to do it. That's also not true. It is in international waters. If we don't do it, we're going to lose hundreds of thousands of people. That's ridiculous. But it seems like he really believes that. I mean, maybe he has to believe it to be able to go forward with all of the stuff he wants to do to help his friends. But yikes. All right, and then we've got another response here. And so the reporter person is saying, today reports that the Orange administration's covering its legal basis. According to the Washington Post, Justice Department lawyers this summer crafted a classified memo arguing that U.S. troops involved in the boat strikes would not be in legal jeopardy. So that's something else. Let's talk about that just real quick for a minute, right? Many times, let me back up. Okay, we're on an app right now that has been deemed illegal, right? So the app is illegal unless they do some stuff. Now, the stuff's not been done, The only way that this has been able to go on or anything has been paused is because the person that would enforce that law is the AG. And she works for the orange fella. Here we go. There's the orange fella. That doesn't look quite right, does it? Well, whatever. You know what I'm saying. So the orange fella said to the AG, let's not call any of this out. We're not going to, pull anybody in and put trial informations together, grand juries. We're going to just leave them alone. Even though it's illegal, we're just not going to prosecute. So it's like one of those old-timey sheriffs, down south, and they're like, well, he's a good kid. I'm not going to charge him this time. It's like he's 75 years old, and he just, exploded your mall. Like, do something. So that's a similar situation here with what's going on. Conflicts. Really? Okay. Call them ducks. Okay. So the main point's not to incinerate people. Find another option. Correct, Rooney. That's correct. And it can be done, although it's more challenging. And I just get this feeling that a lot of the stuff that's being done is like the quick, sloppy way to do it. Like if you put a little bit more time in and planned things better, the cubes out there going after the peoples, if they had planned that better, they really could have been okay, but they didn't. In the same situation here. Yes, it is international water, and there are rules. Main anchors on PBS. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm glad you told me that. Yeah, no more new stuff. This is stuff that's already occurred. So people, here we go. People, this is Mike Rogers. People were not happy with the level information that was provided, and certainly the level of legal justification that was provided. Understandable. Okay, so Ms. Nawez calls to organizations like the Orders Project, which provides free legal advice to military personnel, are on the rise from staff officers included in planning the boat strikes, as are calls to a separate hotline from the National Guard personnel concerned about domestic deployments to American cities, and even calls expressing concerns of complicity and a possible this G word that I can't say out loud here in a G word country by virtue of the U.S. weapons sent to the I country, signaling heightened concern from within the U.S. government that the U.S. military is exposing those who serve to legal harm. So this, I will go through this full this full summation, but I wanted to kind of give you a little flavor, right? So if you're interested, you can go in and screenshot this, and this is the name, of course, and then we do have the full transcript, excuse me, available for anyone who is interested. Navez, okay. Oh, that's nicer than what I was saying. Was I saying Nibaz, something like that? I know. It drives people crazy. It drives me crazy. Interesting back and forth here. So if you're interested in that, you've got that. Next, what else do I have on my stack? Oh, the Chicago Headline Club. Oh my gosh, everyone, who remembers sitting with me here? We went through this petition that was filed. So this is a club that includes a lot of people in the press, right? And there was like no one person. I don't know. I'm trying to say this is a group of people that have signed up to be part of this club, and they are the plaintiffs against Noam, of course. And this is for the military presence that is there in the Chicago. Here, so this is a joint status report, which are very rarely done actually, because usually the lawyers for the government are just like, we're not going to do that. Here's our joint state status though, all right? So both sides are agreeing to this language. Pursuant to the court's November 6th minute order, a preliminary injunction, the parties conferred over email and submit this status report setting forth proposals for ensuring the federal agents currently or subsequently deployed in the Northern District of Illinois as part of the Operations Midway Blitz or any equivalent operation by a different name remain informed of the limitations imposed by the preliminary injunction. And then they go further on here. So there are rules set out on that preliminary injunction. One of the reasons why these cases are being tossed into the court so quickly is because they are getting these injunctions. And then those injunctions are being immediately appealed, just immediately appealed. We're in that situation here again. So joint status reports from both sides. Here, preliminary injunction is in place. This is the docket of the Chicago Headline Club here. And when I went through the complaint, I did read through who the peoples were there, if you're interested. But I don't think it's going to say here. You know, you get a lot of attorneys on this case. But if you're interested, again, this was one of the first. It might have been the first, come to think. Nope. The Newsom case was first. And then Chicago. But then I think Portland was after Chicago. Anyway, I get them all mixed up. But you can take down this case name and number here if you're interested in following this docket. I will be doing lives and posts on all of these. But this is a chance now if you want to kind of get some information instead of waiting around for me to finally get it posted. So there you go. That's that. And then let's see what else I have here. It's like Christmas for me when I go through my desk. No, yes, it is. Okay, look, I said it. All right, here's another piece that I pulled. SNAP provisions of the Bill Act of 2025. And here's an information memorandum. We had so many misunderstandings about what was really going on with the SNAP benefits in this situation. And so I was looking for something that was reliable and came across this. I think it's USDA. And so it is actually a government site. We have to be super careful about government sites right now, because the government's a bunch of liars. So we gotta be careful about that. But I thought this was at least something for people to be able to pull up and look at. This was September 4th, and it's, again, kind of going through the SNAP situations. These are the different pieces of the bill that are going to affect the SNAP benefits. All right? This is great. This is not anywhere else on the interwebs. Some people are saying, show me what part of the bill, blah, blah, blah. Here it is right here. They've got it right here. And if you go onto this website, you click this and you get a full blurb with the language of how this bill negatively impacts the SNAP program. Hello, So Unique. Hello. They changed it in October. Is it still there, though? Oh, my gosh. I hope it's still there. Jelly Callie. What do we think? You think the website's still there or not? I'm trying to go into all the websites that I think that they would delete, and then I'm just printing stuff out. Anyway, this is very helpful to have this put together. It takes a lot less time because, let me show. Oh, where to put? Oh, here it is. Because this. All right, let me just show you the big, beautiful bill right here. All right, this is the BBB, the 3 Bs, right? It's 1,000 pages. It's as long as the Mueller report. Let's see. Public Law 119-21, and then it became a law July 4th of 2025 here. So oh my gosh, I just don't even know. If you want to know truly what's going on, I would say just print out the table of contents. Just print it out about the contingency funds. Okay, I'll have to take a look. Absolutely. Let me write it down. Hold on. I mustn't forget contingency funds. Got it. And let's see, for some reason, I thought there was a lawsuit going on regarding the contingency funds. Anyway, I digress. If you're interested in the bill, I would recommend just reading through the table of contents, of which there are many. We're still in the table of contents here, right? So we've got Medicaid's listed in here, SNAP programs listed in here, rural hospitals, the negative effect that they're going to have. I mean, Right? Come on. And then for me, I annotate my statutes and pretty much everything. So I've already started annotating and going through this case, this law as well. But for anyone who is like coming in and saying, hey, it doesn't say that in the big beautiful bill, I'm like, have you read it? Because it's 1,000 pages. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot. That's a lot. I believe we've had, what are they called? Like ombudsman's, ombudsmanibus. That's not the right word. They've got big bills that have a whole bunch of crap put in them. And they're like this big. And thank you, Nancy. Omnibus. Ombudsman. No! Is it a combo? Well, whatever. Okay. Hi, Boho. Oh my gosh. Ombudsman. Okay, ombudsman. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you know what I mean. So there's those bills out there that they use. And then we have this one here. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So let's see if we can get the last Esther Project. Yes. I did see that, Bewitch. I did. I'm right, my original. Well, it happens. I'm not I'm still in my tornado shelter, okay, everybody. Oh, thanks, Erin. My internet's goofy. Oh, no worries. Yeah, I mean, we got to be, oh my gosh, these are some difficult times, but we all work through it together. So this is the full petition for the Chicago case. I was just telling you about the Chicago Headline Club. Here we go. See, this is what I was trying to spit out. I was like, one person, and I couldn't remember. So let me just see here. I want to kind of give you an idea of the other people involved here. So the plaintiffs are Chicago Headline Club, Block Club Chicago, Chicago Newspaper Guild Local 34071, Nabet CWA Local 54041, Illinois Press Association, Raven Geary, Charles Thrush, Stephen Held. Oh, these are the reporters. David Black, William Paulson, Autumn Righty Hammer. That's a fun name. And Lee Kunkel. They are a part of the group as well. So it's actually a pretty good group of people. And their complaint, I have read, I think this is up on my Tube of You channel if you're interested, but this is a pretty good complaint. It's very well written, not a lot of extra fluff to it. Oh, no worries. I understand. I need more heart bubbles. I do love the bubbles. I didn't even set one this time, everybody. Oh my gosh, I was supposed to set a live goal, but I was like just too excited to talk to people. That's so funny to me. Oh my goodness gracious, everybody. All right, and I'll finish on this. I've still got stacks here, but we've been here doing this for fun for a little bit. Yes, thank you so much, Erin. Yes, I do appreciate all the gifts, everybody. And Erin, I'm sorry, I forgot to set my goal. I gotta write it on a note. Let me write it on a sticky note so I remember next time. Don't forget, because it's so fun picking out which of those little things are hilarious. So, I've got my eyes on a couple of them, but, if I don't get them, I can't get them. So pick that. The baby shoes? Oh my gosh. All right, I want the baby shoes. Hi, Kaya. There's a goal up there. Really? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, thank you. Oh, is that why? Okay, I got you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. This stuff is like well beyond my ability to understand. But if you want me to explain the Magna Carta, I could do that. I could do that for you. But if it has something to do with gifts. Oh, I just haven't changed it, Kaya. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you told me that. All right. I'm writing myself a sticky note here. So I'll remember. Oh my gosh. I tell you, everybody, what would I do without all of you in the chat and my sweet, amazing moderators who help me. Thank you. All right, here's our last one, and I guess the bubbles are still up and running. Oh my goodness. Okay, so sorry, my chair's tipping over. Here we are, last one, jury trial demand. This is one of my personal favorite cases, the Driscoll, Jansen, and Evans cases versus the Patel, the Bondi, and then the United States of America. So this has a jury trial that has been demanded, and this has to do with the FBI being incompetent. Right, it's a very complicated, exactly, well, that's what I'm saying. Thanks, deal, it's a deal. It's a deal. That's why with Aaron, I'm like, I think you're the greatest thing ever, Aaron. How does this work? I don't know. Oh my goodness. All right, fast forward. Oh, let me read the first couple of lines actually, because I think it'll set out the whole case for you. 4 decades, plaintiffs Brian Driscoll, Stephen Jensen, and Spencer Evans served this country with distinction and courage as special agents and senior officials of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Over the course of their remarkable careers, they prevented terrorist attacks, rescued American hostages and saved children from predators, and disabled violent street gangs. Each day of their service was dedicated to protecting the American people and to fulfilling the oath they took when they joined the FBI to, quote, support and defend the Constitution of the United States and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. Plaintiffs' commitment to these higher principles compelled them at all times to perform their duties free from political bias and influence. The same commitment galled defendants who initiated a campaign of retribution against plaintiffs for what defendants deemed to be a failure to demonstrate sufficient political loyalty. On August 8, Patel terminated plaintiffs' combined 60 years of distinguished service in federal law enforcement with cursory single-page letters sent to each plaintiff. He did so in violation of federal law and the United States Constitution. Oh, it's heartbreaking. Patel not only acted unlawfully, but deliberately chose to prioritize politicizing the FBI over protecting the American people. As explained herein, his decision to do so degraded the country's national security by firing 3 of the FBI's most experienced operational leaders, each of them experts in preventing terrorism and reducing violent crime. Oh, sad. So this case is, again, one of those kind of wake-up moments where sometimes I feel like we don't realize exactly how much is going on out there. I mean, I do. It's all over my closet. But others may not. And this case here, again, the complaint was filed in September. I think they've recently had a hearing. I'll have to do an update on that. But this, I think, is a very important post because we have people who have served decades who were just given this basic note, like, bye, you're gone now. So yeah, legal way to prevent injustices like this. We've got lawsuits. We can't, I guess I would say the preventative measures didn't hold. So now we have to go through, the long road of the law. I don't think, well, I mean, one thing that we're learning, right, is that this understanding or this agreement or league of friendship, if you will, if you're going by the Articles of Confederation. Is that right? That's right. So the Articles of Confederation, and that's a firm league of friendship with Canada. That was a long journey. What I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to say here is that no, we are unable to prevent this from happening because the orange is so litigious that he doesn't care. Like he's ready for it to take forever because he's not paying for it anymore. All of these cases are being taken care of through the Department of Justice. So he doesn't have to pay anything for any of this. Not only that, but he had civil suit going. And as soon as he became the president, he filed to have the DOJ take over his personal lawsuit. And they did. So it's really difficult. It's difficult here, but yep. So anyway, everybody, on that positive note, no, that wasn't positive. What's this one here? Ooh, here we go. Here's another one. This is the Trump v. Dow Jones, right? Wall Street Journal, News Corporation, Delaware, Rupert Murdoch, Thompson, Safdar, and Palazzolo. Palazzolo, is that right? Palazzolo, everybody? Which case, Jesse, was that? Sure, let me pull it back here. We've got Driscoll, Jensen Evans versus, and then here we've got Patel, FBI, Bondi, DOJ, Executive Office of the President, and the U.S. itself. So this is blank, but you can find this case number and pull it up. Oh, thanks, Missy. Thanks. I appreciate that. I meant the one the DOJ took over for him. So, yeah, hold on a second. Let me see. If I pulled it, I'm going to be so proud of myself. But I may not have pulled it. No, that's not it. I think it's in a different stack. And I believe right now there's not that many cases going on. So this should be, I believe this is the Blessing Game case. It's got several different names to it. But when he goes in for civil cases, there is a law that allows for him to request the DOJ to do it. Now, listen, you can sue the president for problems that happened before his presidency, and he's got to take care of that stuff. But there are certain situations where they can bring the DOJ back into it. Yeah. Actually, why don't you give me a second here? I think I may have just put the case over here. All right, hold on here, everybody. All right. I just want to make sure. I'm just not sure. For some reason, that doesn't seem to feel right that it's the Blessing Game case. Let me double check. There are a lot of lawsuits here. Okay. Okay. Hold on here. All right, let me see. Let's see. No, that's not it. No. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, it was, oh my gosh. Well, he filed for it, and he filed for the DOJ to come in and take over for his attorneys on the Carroll case. On the Carroll cases, he requested the DOJ to come in and help with that. So that's what I'm seeing right off the top of my head here. Let me see if there's another one. Right. Okay. I guess it was just E. Jean Carroll. Let me see. Okay. And then eventually, okay. All right, here we come. Let's clarify. There is a federal statute that does allow the DOJ, I think, if it's like official presidential conduct or whatever that's being questioned or being litigated, then the DOJ can be called back in to take care of it. He has to file. And that's what they did in the E. Jean Carroll case. So I was thinking of Blasingame, but I was wrong. And that's fine. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. But in E. Jean Carroll, he filed immediately for the DOJ to take the cases back. And because there's 2 Carroll cases, and the judges have knocked that down. The judges have said the DOJ cannot represent him in the Carroll cases, but that probably is being appealed. Right. Well, no, we don't know about when he has to appeal or when he has to pay. He has the amount of money that he owes to Miss Carroll sitting in an account waiting. So the money has been put to the side. So we don't have to worry about him actually paying. It's just continuing to go through all of these different appeals. Yes. Right, candidate versus president. Exactly right. And that's why, I had in my mind that it was the Blasingame case, because that's the civil case. That's the other half of Jan 6. Okay, so Lex, right, he's not paying for any of these lawsuits. All of these lawsuits, and there's over 500. I think we're at, like 420. I'm sorry, we're over 500. We're at like 520, something like that. Every single one of those cases that have set out constitutional amendments being violated, federal statutes being violated, and that's what you're supposed to do. If you've got a statute, we've got administrative procedures that are being violated. We have a lot of that going on. And ultra vires, I think, is the best thing that's being pled right now, in my opinion, which means every time he steps further outside of the realm of what his power as the president's supposed to be, another lawsuit comes in and says you're out of line. So it's constant. It's just over and over, and it's constant violations because he's constantly violating it, right? Like the emoluments clause or all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of cases going on with that. But the DOJ is the one doing it because it's not a personal lawsuit against him. Although his name is listed, it's him doing official acts, allegedly. Yes, your tax money. Your tax money is paying, right, for the DOJ. And then, although I think it's important to note that the DOJ is so compromised right now, they've lost, my understanding is they've lost about 70% of their attorneys because of ethics reasons. And they're like, we can't do what you want. And we're seeing that too, even with the Comey case, right? Where we had this seasoned, known prosecutor doing his job. And he's like, there's nothing there. So he's out. He's been fired. So anybody that disagrees, they fire. And then they're short-staffed. So I mean, there's like no one left there. And that's why you get weird stuff like, yeah, Jesse, that's what I'm saying. That's why you get weird stuff like Lindsay Halligan, who apparently just kind of hung out in the White House. That was her job. And he's like, who's got a law license? And she's like, I do. And then she went in and is like absolutely, damaging the crap out of this stuff. When's the blackout dates? I'm not sure what you mean, Bad Bunny. And I say that because there are so many. All right? There's just too many. Paying for... Right. We are paying for her salary. And probably because they're friends. I mean, I don't know. But they're getting benefits out there too. Like, I bet her hair is included. Yep. Okay, Kaya, is that for the shopping blackout? Oh, thanks, Fuzzards. Dingleberries. That always makes me laugh so much. All right. That's the no buy. That's so right. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I've been prepping. I've got all my Christmas taken care of. we're prepping so that we don't have to buy because we're going on a no buy. My husband's like, all right, whatever. Oh, anyway, everyone. All right. I'm getting a little bit loopy now. But So there you go. Just kind of going through my desk here. That did help me actually a little bit with one of my giant piles. My cat Pearl tries to climb the piles, and then she gets to the top and she just sits there and looks at me. And I'm like, what? Right. Small, local, well, right. Local businesses. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. I will be back again very, very soon. And I'll be going through a lot of these here, but I think it's good to just kind of see what's still, cooking on the stove, even though it's not boiling over, right? Yes, yes, indeed. So I'll sign off for now. Take care. Thank you for, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts that I have no idea how any of that works, but I'm thankful for it. So I appreciate you. Look at this heart I've been working on. It's not great. It's not great. Fuzzard, you need to help me. He was supposed to help me.